Hello everyone, and I am doing my follow-up video to my video entitled 22 of Hillary Clinton's emails were highly classified. And in this video, you're going to see an interview from CNN. You're going to see a former Attorney General speak to one of the CNN hosts. He's a little more conservative. And then you're going to hear one of Hillary Clinton's former Yale classmates.
Because these are not disclosed at all, it makes it obviously much more apparent that somebody was apparently removing the classified markings on State Department communications and getting them onto her own server. That, I think, is the real significance here.
But how could she have culpability if nothing was so designated as classified at the time?
If it was designated classified and the classification was removed according to a protocol that she knew about and wanted, because that was the only way to get it onto her home server, then she is in it up to her eyeballs.
What's the basis of your suspicion that perhaps so-called classified markings would have been removed?
Well, the documents originated someplace. They didn't drop in from Mars. The person who originated them necessarily put classified markings on them because the State Department has said that they won't release any of them. So they were at one point marked. Now, how did the markings get off? I think if you turn to an email exchange between her and one of her staffers back in 2011, you find that she's waiting for a classified set of talking points, and at one point says, if they can't get a secure fax, she says, turn it into non-paper with no identifying heading and send non-secure. Now that is very particular language relating to the fact that there are three communication systems within the government: non-secure, zipper or secure, and the highest, which is JWICS. The information from zipper and from JWICS cannot move on the low end system, NIPR. And if you put anything on there that's got those markings on it, it essentially sets off an alarm that alerts the people involved with security. So those markings have to be taken off. And when she said in June of 2011, take the markings off, it becomes apparent that she knew how that system worked.
Assume, for the purpose of my next question, that she played no role in the removal of any designations. Should she have otherwise known this is really sensitive information? This is at a certain level that, of course, it might not have the marking, but it must be classified.
The information is classified, not because it's marked, but because of what the information contains. The marking is put on because it's classified. It's not classified because of the marking. So, for example, if she has signals intelligence or information from a human source that is obviously confidential and secret and relates to intelligence activities of the United States abroad, she'd have to have been a low-grade moron in order not to know that it was classified.
Who ultimately decides where this goes? Is it the FBI? Is it Comey? Is it the Attorney General, Lynch? Is it the president ultimately who's consulted?
Ultimately, it's the president. The president.
So how do you see this playing out?
It's hard to predict, but the FBI is conducting the investigation. I believe it is working with people at the Justice Department now. At some point, all of this is going to be tied up in a package and put before the director of the FBI and then sent to the Attorney General. If the package appears to contain a crime, then there's going to be a recommendation that a prosecution be brought.
Judge, this is complicated stuff. Sum up. Give me the 30-second soundbite so that people who are paying attention at home understand what's really at issue.
What's really at issue is there's going to be a decision at some point as to whether a charge should be brought against Hillary Clinton. If the decision from the director of the FBI is that it should, and the Attorney General says no, there are going to be people resigning and going public, the same way we saw in connection with the Saturday Night Massacre. If the decision is made to go ahead with the charge, then we're going to see some negotiation between Hillary Clinton and the White House as to how that proceeds.
Michael Mukasey, former Attorney General of the United States, thank you for being here. I want to give equal time now to former...
Before we continue watching on with this video, because it is a little lengthy, now recognize how we said about how the former Attorney General said about the possibility of a case against Hillary. Now, remember in my video when I said that my prediction, it was a guess, but my prediction is that there could be a possible case against Hillary, that the FBI wants to build a case against her. That's what he said. He said that if the FBI wants to build a case against her, they have to put a package together and send it to the Attorney General. If the Attorney General and the FBI both agree that there was a crime, that is sent to the President for a final decision for him to say, go along with this. Now, my prediction so far is a little scarily accurate. For a guy who doesn't work in Washington, I'm like a Nostradamus when it comes to this. But I'm kidding, of course, with the Nostradamus thing. But yeah, he's very intelligent. He's seen this stuff before. He obviously called out Hillary on her lie about her saying she doesn't know how email works or how any of the systems work, because obviously she knows how the system works, because in order to remove that security alarm, she obviously known how to put all those those government emails onto her private email without any help of any people who know technology. So obviously Hillary Clinton's lies have been obviously all disputed on CNN so far. Now, we're going to listen to what Hillary's former Yale colleague is going to say.
Clinton White House counsel Lanny Davis, he's headed to Iowa this morning to support his Yale Law School classmate, Secretary Clinton. Lanny, respond to the judge.
I've been a great fan of the judge, shared a platform with him, and he's a great lawyer, former attorney general, but it is shocking and almost unethical if you were actually a judge to pronounce the possibility of guilt without a trial or without an indictment and without a fact. All the caveats of speculative statements, by my respect for the judge here, is somewhat diminished, that he would speculate about somebody committing a crime before an investigation is complete, before an indictment, and before a trial. So let me state three facts.
Okay, before you continue, he didn't say Hillary Clinton's guilty or innocent. He's just saying that there could be a possibility of a case because what she did is a threat to national security, and that judge and former Attorney General mentioned it, that it's a security threat. And he said what she did was wrong, but he didn't declare that she's guilty or innocent, and he didn't say that there was going to be a case against her. There could be, but he didn't say that there's going to be a case against her automatically. So far what you're saying in Hillary's defense is phallicized.
He can't dispute. Fact one is there were no designations on those emails, and they didn't originate from her. He speculates that she removed designations. The only example he gave, which is a fact, were talking points sent to her, and she said, send it to me as a non-paper because they're talking points that I want to use, and the fax machine isn't working. A non-paper meaning unofficially they were talking points. The other...
Wait. So, wait a minute. Hillary Clinton must have known how the email system works, because she obviously knew how to remove the security alarms. So the email, whoever controls government emails wouldn't have known that all these government emails were on her private server. So obviously she known how to use the system. But for you to say, oh, they didn't come directly from her, is a lie, because they found them in her fucking personal server. They were found in her fucking computer. They were retrieved after they were magically wiped. So for you to say that they didn't come from her is so fucking stupid, because they were from her personal server that they were retrieved from. You want to continue, dumbass?
One we know about is what is retroactively, another fact, this is retroactive judgments 2 or 3 years later, that something at the time that wasn't designated classified should be designated. The only one that
It was already classified. That judge mentioned that these emails were already classified, not because they were marked classified with the stamp on it, but because of the content that's in it. And that's the same thing I mentioned in my video calling out Hillary Clinton on her 22 emails that were highly classified. I mentioned the same exact fucking thing. They're not classified because there's a stamp on it. They're classified due to the content that's in it. For you to say, sir, that these emails weren't classified at first and then classified 3 years later is so wrong to say, because regardless of how many years or the time span that she was caught with these top secret emails in her personal server, regardless of the time span and the year separation, they're still classified. From the time that she was Secretary of State till now, they're still classified. They're still classified. It's not like they were not classified and magically classified when the email scandal was brought up. Want to continue? Because I'm telling you all these facts. Obviously, you're ignoring the facts.
I've read about was a report in the New York Times on Pakistan use of drones that you and I and the public read it.
Wait a minute. Stay on topic. Don't go to the uses of drones in Pakistan. Hillary could be in serious trouble here. And you're trying to defend her? My God, if I was Hillary Clinton, I wouldn't want you to defend me, because you have no idea what you're talking about.
And 3 years later, the Inspector General is asserting, with the wisdom of whatever hindsight he has, that a New York Times report should be designated classified. Apart from that, the other 20...
Wait. We're talking about Hillary Clinton's email server here. We're not talking about a New York Times article. We're not talking about a New York Times article. We're talking about Hillary Clinton's highly classified emails that were in her personal server, which should have been in a government email. We're not talking about a New York Times article here. We're not talking about an article about Pakistan drones in U.S. drones in Pakistan. We're not talking about that. We're talking about something that is a threat to national security. Stay on topic. Don't derive the conversation. And I know this host is conservative, but say something. Say something, Mr. Davis. Say something. Call him out. Do anything. Because right now you're making yourself look like a fool. Actually, he's the guy talking is a fool, but you're making yourself look like a fool for not calling him out on the topic derail thing.
We don't know, neither the judge nor I, whether it's of the same nature of overclassification that we've seen through the years by a New York Times report that reports drones and is referenced in the email, and 3 years later, the Inspector General says that should be classified. And fact 3, the New York Times with...
Hold on. Stop with the New York Times, okay? You're on CNN talking about a serious subject here. It's not like you're playing a game of whack-a-mole where you're like, I'm going to talk about the subject, bang. I'm not going to talk about that subject. I'm going to talk about that subject, bang. You're not playing a game of whack-a-mole here. You're talking about a serious fucking thing that could threaten this country. I just want to go back a little bit because I think I heard him say something that I have to call out.
Email, and 3 years later, the Inspector General says that should be classified. And fact 3, then...
Yeah, okay. Like I said, these were already classified. These weren't not classified, then classified. These were already classified. These were already classified emails that she was sending through her private server. I'm starting to sound like Nancy Grace here, but for Christ's sake, this is a threat to national security. And you're talking about the fucking New York Times. Do you care about this country's national security? Because if you do, you would stay on fucking topic.
New York Times withdrew any assertion that the criminal investigation was about Hillary Clinton. The Justice Department withdrew. For the judge to speculate that there's a criminal investigation of Hillary Clinton as
He's not speculating. He's just discussing the possibility. He's not speculating. He isn't saying, oh, I'm gonna make this rash judgment right away that there's gonna be a case against her. He's talking about possibility because there is a possibility. Continue.
opposed to an argument on mishandling between the State Department and the intelligence community.
Whoa, mishandling? Mishandling? More like mismanagement. If it was a mishandling, it should have been investigated a long fucking time ago. It was more like a mismanagement. A dangerous mismanagement.
Which is what we now know this FBI investigation is about. And the New York Times specifically published the headline and withdrew the very charge or speculation that the judge made on the air. All speculation, all ifs, all necessarities, all possibilities. I'm somewhat surprised. I know the judge's political leanings.
Finally, Lanny. I'm sorry. The host of CNN, Lanny Davis, is the guy talking. Finally, this guy's gonna talk. Say something.
That he would speculate on television that someone might have committed a crime.
Lanny, I've looked at the email that the judge has shown to me where Secretary Clinton says, turn it into non-paper with no identifying heading and send non-secure. How do we know that this is the only time that she did that?
Well,
Shut up.
Finally, this guy says something. He finally is calling out Lanny Davis on his bullshit. And he has been quiet the whole time the guy's been talking. Look, I understand you're a real journalist. You're more of a real journalist than half the people on CNN. Well, you and Anderson Cooper. I'll be fair. Anderson Cooper's a real journalist as well. But the thing is, though, it's great. You want to give this Lanny Davis guy extra time to speak. I get that. You want to give him the equal amount of time, but if you want to be taken as a serious network, call out bullshit when you smell it. Because if something smells like bullshit, it probably is bullshit.
don't know, and I wouldn't speculate that somebody on television, which is why former Attorney General's comments is unethical for a lawyer. Speculate, you're a pundit. You wouldn't speculate that Michael Smerconish may have committed a heinous crime, because that would be irresponsible. So it's all speculation. But as far as that particular one, which I'm glad you mentioned again, we now know, even though Hillary Clinton has asked all of these emails to be published, and they haven't been, that one involved talking points that couldn't possibly have been considered classified. Her fax machine was not working. She and her campaign have explained that one sent by Jake Sullivan.
Wait. Once again, you're derailing the whole conversation. I'll say this again if you have fucking amnesia. We're talking about Hillary's 22 emails that were highly classified. We're not talking about Hillary's fax machine that's been drinking the night before. We're not talking about Hillary's fax machine. We're talking about Hillary's 22 emails, not her fucking fax machine.
Was supposed to be sent to her. She couldn't get it. She said, put it on a fax. But she didn't ever say remove classified designations. The judge is speculating, and
Lanny,
speculation is improper.
Okay, let me ask a basic question because I don't want to lose people in the weeds. It's against the law for officials to discuss classified information on unclassified networks. It's actually
Correct.
pretty straightforward. Isn't that what she did here?
She categorically denied that, and the only basis for your asking the question is pure speculation, and now we know politically.
Wait, no, it's not based on political speculation. She did commit some type of crime. We don't know what type of crime yet, but we know she commits some type of crime. But the thing is, though, you're still deriving conversation because you don't want to think of the possibility that Hillary Clinton could be possibly guilty.
Motivated. Do you think it's a coincidence, Michael, that we're talking about this on the Saturday morning before the Iowa caucuses? Do you think it's a coincidence that the IG McCulloch sent a letter to Senator Grassley, who, after leaking this material from the IG, then appears with Donald Trump in Iowa? Do you think it's a coincidence that one of the top officials of the IG's office
I get it.
was
You're saying
involved in a
it's politically
prosecution of him?
Yeah, look, and I get what this guy's saying as well. Yeah, that could. I understand that he thinks, and I think that what he's saying that it could possibly be politically motivated. But however, if we were talking about the Benghazi thing, I say, yeah, it's just a coincidence. Benghazi is brought up 2 days before the Iowa caucus, but we're talking about the emails, which is a legitimate thing that happened. Look, did Hillary know about the attack of Benghazi? No. And CNN isn't saying that she known about the attack on Benghazi. This guy didn't even say that she known about the attack on Benghazi. Even look at the archives. He even defends Hillary Clinton on the fact that she didn't know anything about Benghazi. But however, he's not defending her on the fact on the emails because he knows she did something illegal. And you're like, oh no, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. You're trying to deny the fact.
Hillary Clinton, and that he denied it to Politico, and now he has to admit it. This is about raw politics, the way Whitewater was, and you should know better.
Well, come on. It's a legitimate inquiry. I think it's
A legitimate inquiry for a journalist, but you should know that this is about politics.
Okay,
We're talking
I
about
want to be fair to everybody.
Saturday morning before the Iowa caucuses.
You've been sitting here.
Dude, stop laughing. This isn't a funny situation.
Shaking your head. I'm way over time. They're telling me get out of the segment. What is it you want to say?
All of this is based on facts that have emerged. So far as her saying that she wants this stuff published, she knows it's not going to be published because it's all top secret. So it's sort of like a guy in a bar who gets in an argument and waits until his friends have grabbed him, put him tight, and then says, "Let me at him."
Sir, rebuttal, Lanny, quick.
The Attorney General hasn't named a single fact to lead to a speculation that someone is in criminal trouble. I think the man has been a great man. I respectfully suggest if you were a judge, you would be conducting something unethical to offer an opinion based upon no evidence, no fact.
Wait, no evidence, no facts? Do I have to go to the beginning of the video and so we can all listen to what this guy said before?
That someone might have committed a crime. I really think you should rethink being willing to do that, Your Honor.
The facts are that there were literally thousands of classified emails on her server that didn't get there.
According to one
They weren't
person's
put- they weren't- they
opinion,
weren't put-
the State
they weren't
Department
put there.
disagreed.
According to the FBI, Lanny. The FBI. The FBI doesn't bullshit when it comes to national security.
With that, Attorney
They
General,
weren't put there
the
by
State
the tooth
Department does
fairy.
not agree with what you
There
just
are not
said. Admit
thousands
that.
of newspaper articles that were
Admit that the
classified.
State Department
The FBI
disagrees with
does
what
not
you just said.
How about you shut the fuck up and listen? This guy knows what he's talking about. You don't know shit.
I
The
do have to
FBI
get
does
out.
not investigate a dispute between two agencies.
You're
The
acting
FBI
like a
investigates
partisan
crimes.
voice here, Your Honor, and I'm quite disappointed.
Oh my God. Poof! People don't listen listen to the facts anymore. That former attorney general knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's been on the law enforcement side of Washington for a long fucking time already. And he knows what to look out for when there's, a possible crime. And this Lanny guy is saying, you're lying. You're basing it on no facts and no evidence. Admit the State Department disagrees with you. Admit this, admit that. Lanny, how about you fucking admit that Hillary Clinton is, a possible criminal? You can't send classified emails on public servers. You have to send classified emails through classified servers. And are you a politician, or are you just Hillary Clinton's friend who doesn't know shit about politics? I feel bad that for that former attorney general that had to listen to stupidity like that. I feel bad for the guy that he had to listen to stupidity to the point where I'm surprised he didn't say shut the fuck up to him on CNN. Because if I was in his position, I wouldn't care if they would censor the explicit language. I would just tell them to shut the fuck up because I know what I'm talking about. Obviously, the former attorney general knows what he's talking about, and obviously Lanny Davis has no idea what he's talking about.